Chapter 73.
You are now listening to the Chapter of the Architect with DJ Architect.
What's going on, my people? Once again, this is your homeboy DJ Architect. I want to welcome you guys to Chapter 73, man. I got two good close friends of mine, gentlemen on the other end of the line, Big Shermy, Sherm, and Ken. Man, how you gentlemen doing?
Outstanding architect.
You guys,
What's going on?
You guys
I guess we can't talk at the same time.
Right. What's new, man? Obviously, the pandemic, this COVID-19, it's coming back. We thought for a second that businesses started to open up. I know my wife and I, we went out to eat dinner several weekends back to back. Obviously, social spacing. They had enough space for where people weren't sitting right next to each other at the table. But all of a sudden, they're starting to close down restaurants again, man.
Yeah. When did we last do our podcast? The three of us together. Was that March?
It might have been.
Or April? Yeah. It's wild that we're in July, and it is what it is. But wanted to say, you and I, Architect, we went to an establishment probably, I'd say a month ago, and it was pretty good, right? They had, the spacing was like decent, Yeah. And I took my wife to the same establishment probably, I would say, a week and a half to 2 weeks after to go for lunch, like a little date night.
Yeah. And
brother, there was not one open seat, and we were just elbow to elbow. And I gotta say, man, I want to support that establishment, but at the same time, it's like, are you stupid? Because you're kind of ruining this for everybody else, like all the other establishments who are playing by the rules.
Right.
And so, but honestly, I didn't think I'd really be faced by that, but I felt uncomfortable, man. I had people laughing in my face to where I could almost feel the wind from their laugh. You know what I'm saying? It was that tight. It's kind of like what they did was they shortened their time that they're open in service. So they shortened that time. So now the window's smaller. There's more people cramming in to get into that window. And it was, I got to say, it was uncomfortable, man. We left there going, that was stupid, and we can't do that ever again.
Yeah, it sounds like the owner was just being, for lack of a better word, greedy. Obviously, he must have been, or currently is hurting financially, and he's like, well, give me all this money and revenue back ASAP.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Was careless of how it would have affected anyone inside that his establishment.
Yeah. Have you guys had to get tested during this at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I have not. I haven't had any symptoms or anything, any scares or anything like that. I haven't been to any places that ended up closing because they had a case, like one of their employees or something like that would have a case. And then a lot of places have been closing because of that. But I've just never been, I guess, exposed to it. I never had a scare or anything. So, yeah, I just haven't got tested.
Kenny, are you currently working from home?
I was actually, and what happened was they did a full furlough of the entire, a large majority of the company.
Wow!
So everybody's furloughed until they pushed it out to September, mid-September, late September.
Is it partial days or full furlough?
It's a full furlough, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So, it's cool, you save for this type of stuff, so it's all right. I got to spend some time, at home, doing home projects, stuff that I've been trying to do for years. Yeah. And then I've been trying to get more involved in in streaming and stuff for gaming with my sons, trying to help them build a platform for their streaming if they want to start and stuff. So
nice.
I got into that stuff. Yeah.
That's cool, man, brother. I didn't know your situation was what it is, man. it's funny because we all live our own personal lives, and then we think we have it rough, and we have no idea what the next person next to us is going through. And I'm not saying that yours is a life-threatening situation, man, but nobody would want or wants to get furloughed, And listen, brother, we're here for you, man. If you ever need anything or whatever have you, you could always reach out to us. I just want to put that out there.
For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I know I could count on some people. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I've been working from home, I believe, since the second week of March, and I like working from home, but because of me starting the job and all of a sudden us having to be sent home, we kind of find out that the training that we were supposed to be getting when you're at home is not adequate. You understand what I'm saying? Which leads to other situations of anxiety when, all of a sudden you're out of the training mode and they're like, now you have to produce. And you're like, well, I feel inadequate because of the lack of good training. So, there's anxieties that are created because of that. But then I hear a story like you, man, and I'm like, hey, dude, you're fucking working. Count, be gracious, count your blessings,
Yeah, I mean, but still, there's still, it shouldn't take away from what you're feeling, because those are legit feelings, especially getting into a new job, and then all this shit just starts happening. So
right.
I could understand that anxiety. That's like you're kind of getting thrown to the wolves right now.
Right. Yeah. And
you got to know you're going to go.
Yeah. And then there's no resources. And what I mean by that is that if we were at the office, you could always look to the left and to the right and collectively harness 3 or 4 different people's train of thought versus now IMing them on, Skype business and waiting for them to even respond. And that could be up to 10 minutes, right? They're busy.
Right.
So, yeah, man. And because of COVID-19, it's impacted the way the department does business, whereas everything now has become bottlenecked. Everything's become stopped, slowed down because, obviously facilities are closed. If we are getting any work, it's specific to 1 or 2 procedural details, right? And that's that over and over and over again. So we're not seeing the vast different types of procedures that we should be working. We're not seeing them because of COVID. It's just like that the same thing, repetitive action happening. So
has there been any improvements since you were sent home? Like, have they done anything to improve your situation? I mean, with new software or anything like that?
No, not really. And the thing about it is a lot of the times you have software issues, like where the program itself will just take a dump. Like you're trying to log in to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and, all of a sudden it's not working. You text somebody that's a coworker, hey, is the program working for you? Nope. And then they'll send out an email at 8:15 in the morning. Hey, just letting you guys know, nationwide software issue. Do training for the next 2 or 3 hours until it comes back up. It's
right.
I don't want to go into too much details of it, but sometimes it can be a real shit show.
I went to, I started going back to work the beginning of June, I think, and they made it to where I just go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I telework Monday, Friday, and then Friday we got the email. Well, actually, at the beginning of last week, they sent me home because of possible exposure. I had to go get a test, and so I've been home again this last week, and then Friday, I still haven't got the results, but Friday we got an email that first came from the Pentagon, then to our rear admiral, and then to RC. I work for the government, and you guys know that. But anyway, the message came, and it said, we're shut down again. So they said, we're going now back to phase 1, where we were in March. And so that just started on Friday.
Oh, wow.
So we're completely going all the way back, and we're at max telework, and even admin leave for people who can't telework, but they don't want anybody at work right now. And that just started Friday.
Wow.
But you know what's funny about I have a lot of different views and opinions in my family, as we all do, and it's funny listening to people say, like, the left media is just trying to smear this dude's campaign with this hoax, yada yada yada. But then we see, I see, and some other people who work for the government do get to see these like messages from the Pentagon that are way more over top than the liberalist states, like as far as their guidelines go. So it's just so funny how we see these briefings with Trump, and he's just trying to kill this whole thing, right? I mean, just trying to talk it down and say we need to go back to school, we need to get the economy going again. But his own people and in the Defense Department and everybody else is so over the top. I mean, so over the top careful, and it's just something the media and all these people don't see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I don't understand is, for whatever reason, I've been noticing it's coming from a lot of females, where there'll be an individual out in the store and the female won't be wearing a mask, and she'll go berserk if the store owner or someone working at the facility tells them, hey, please wear a mask or you have to leave. And they just go bananas, man. I remember I was watching some footage on the news where some broad, like, I don't know if she coughed or, sneezed on the bartender when the bartender was like, hey, give yourself some distancing between you and your pal. She went bananas, man. And then there's people that say, it's my right not to wear a mask, and some of the stupid things that I've heard some of these people say, man.
Well, a lot of these guys have paid so much money for plastic surgery on their nose and their lips, and so now they're having to cover them up. And so they're not getting their money's worth right now.
Oh, my God. That's a good point, man. That's a good point.
Especially in California,
Oh, my God. But you know what sucks is that these same people, they'll say the masks is they're trampling on our liberties or whatever. But what's going on is that they're going into these privately owned establishments that can make their own rules and mandate this. So it's not, you're actually trying to trample on their liberties of being able to make their own rules,
right?
By
you trying
to rebel against them. So it's just a store. And it's like if somebody came in your house and,
that's exactly right.
You asked them to take off their shoes and they're like, what are you trying to do? Trample on my liberties?
That's a great point.
I'm going to wear my shoes in your house, bitch.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I agree, man. And then when I see these kids, man, and, for 4th of July, these having these huge parties at the beach and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys are not invincible, man. Mm-hmm. This thing is going to affect one of you guys. And if it doesn't affect, you may be the carrier that will affect or impact one of your family members.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just don't think, man. And sure enough, who I really feel bad for, the medical workers, the doctors, the nurses who are right now have to be exhausted. I mean, past the point of exhaustion, right? And these idiots are just, bringing them more work. And the doctors and nurses are, pleading with them, hey, man, give us a break, man, please. Right?
Yeah. I have no idea what this fall is going to bring, as far as school and stuff. That's a trip. Gallup actually called me yesterday, or somebody from Gallup. It was just doing a poll, and they just said, we have one question for you if you wouldn't mind answering, and it was just about schools in California. Just said A, B, C, or D. Do you think schools should go back full-time, A, hybrid, B, wait till we get this under control, C, or D, no opinion? And it was crazy to see the results, because when you're done, you have to, you go off a text, and it's good to have been a bullshit. I don't even know, but it said it was Gallup. But they said it was over 7,000 votes, and they were all in between B and C. hybrid or wait till we get this under control. It's like 1 or 2% that said go back full time. And I don't know what to think. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, they gave us an option with getting our kids registered, and they're like, okay, do you want to sign up for the full time or the hybrid? And we're just like, wait, what?
Wow.
So wait, some kids are going to be going full time and some kids aren't. Like, what are you trying to do? But so what I was telling,
actually signed my kids up for the hybrid. So it's like they go to school 2 days out of the week, and it's supposed to be split time with other school kids and stuff. So that way, not all the kids are coming in at one time. It's going to be different times coming in. Like, there's going to be like 30 minutes difference between a certain group of kids, and then 30 minutes later, another group of kids. And so that way they keep it as minimal as possible and stuff. So I see their point. I think in my region, they actually voted to go to school full time, no masks, anything. People around here like don't give a fuck. They're like, no.
What's interesting though?
Back to normal.
That's cool.
There was a graph that and I bet you, where are you at? You're just north of us, right? I mean, you're not too far.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still Temecula area.
Right. Okay. So did you see the pie chart after you voted? Like, it showed a pie chart of everybody's kind of where everybody's at.
Yeah, I don't remember the
right. But I don't remember it exactly either. But in Carlsbad, my sister-in-law shared her graph. It was down to the decimal, the exact same, like the voting results.
Wanting to go back to time,
right? Down to the decimal percentage. The chart was the same color chart. Everything was the same color. But one was in Temecula and one was in Carlsbad, and they were identical. Yeah. And I was like,
that's bogus,
yeah, man. So I don't know what, I don't know the politics behind that, but I mean,
I think I don't know. Okay. Coming from a white guy, me being a white guy, it's a majority white place, and they just don't give a fuck about that.
That's true. But you don't think they could be mirroring the same, like, just to get the email out? Like, you don't think that's a bogus, like, result? If it's exactly the same? Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. But yeah, I don't know, man. I worry about our teachers. I mean, if it's like anything when I was going to school, those were fat old, people who shouldn't be around any kind of shit like this. So, like, and I, for lack of better terms at the moment, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said fat or old, but I mean, America, diabetic, old. We have people who have underlying conditions, and if they're the teachers that we're expected to come back, like, what do you do? Increase their pay? Like, we're putting them in a really scary position for their health, and that's kind of a discriminatory kind of, like, I mean, you can't make it to where only the young and fit come back to teach. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Yeah,
so,
right. And
I don't know. I don't know what they can do.
The older people are more open to it being more harmful. That's the truth. Yeah, I know they were talking about, as far as my job, 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah, we're going to look and we're going to start asking for volunteers for the first wave to come back to the office. Obviously, I didn't volunteer, but a bunch of people did. And all of a sudden, all that chatter stopped because in California, it just started the numbers started picking up. So I sit back and I do the math and I say, well, we're in July. We're going to be going into August. September's right around the corner. Here comes fall, right? And obviously that temperature starts to drop, and here comes flu season. A lot of people getting sick. This thing is going to spike back up, I believe.
Yeah.
Well,
if we stop testing, we won't see any more positive results. Isn't that the most
idiotic shit you've ever heard, man? This guy's a fucking crackhead, this fucking guy, man. His fucking logic.
Oh, my God.
His logic.
You know what? We should do the same thing with pregnancies. Nobody should take a pregnancy. Pregnancies go way down.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, no, what do you have there in your belly? No, you're not pregnant. You didn't take a test.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Exactly. Just imagine somebody with COVID. They'd be like, oh, I don't have COVID because I didn't take a test. And it's like they're dying and they're intubated and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I hear what they're learning about it is if you have to have a respirator, then the chances of you coming back from that are very slim. That's what they're saying, man.
Oh, so interesting because I have a friend who's an RN that works there, his COVID unit.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the last 8 days that he worked, someone died from COVID while being intubated. So a person has died, and he said that he may hear of a death maybe once every week or something like that. So he's basically every day he works, somebody is dying.
Wow.
And his unit.
You know.
Yeah, we're sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, man, you really have to try to put yourself in the shoes of the nurses and the doctors that are having to unfortunately experience this. And imagine your profession is of, taking care of and preventing this from happening, right? And there's some points where there's nothing you can do. Now, we're not talking out of the realm of day-to-day events. Individual comes in a car accident, trauma to the brain, nothing can be done. It's the same type of situation, but it's a monster where the outcome is potentially going to be heartbreaking, and you have to deal with this on a day-to-day basis, man. It's like you're trying to move through this thick mud, and it's just weighing you down. They have to be emotionally exhausted,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They said our ICU, well, in our county, our ICU beds are over 99% full. And so then you do think about other emergencies and other people who will need an ICU bed that don't have coronavirus.
Right.
It's like those people that are in accidents or whatever, and now they're just getting swapped to different hospitals because there's no room for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those are the reasons why these young kids, that's what they should be thinking of while, instead of going out and partying. I mean, think about that, because you're out here, maybe, I don't know, 20, 25, 45 people will be affected. And it's going to take, it's a domino effect. It's going to impact someone down the line because you choose to be out here in this
it's an effect that's even if it's indirect. Like even if it's an indirect effect to the rest of our human society, right? You're taking up an ICU bed because you had COVID. That probably could have been prevented
if you would have stayed your ass home.
Exactly that. And now someone they got to find this. So for what I understand right now is that they are counting literally the number of beds they have available in ICU. So they're using that number instead. So they'll say we have 3 beds literally, and they'll have to call another place like, oh, we have 4 beds. So they'll have to send other intensive care patients to these hospitals. And what sucks, so what I hear is happening now, so this is the domino effect you're talking about right now. Some of the effect that this is happening, people's medical insurances, they're going to these hospitals where they don't accept their insurance. And now there's no leadway for their insurances either. So now they have to actually pay even more for their shit because it's an out-of-network provider or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's super fucking crazy, right?
Yo, just imagine, bro. First of all, you're not creating income, right? You're sick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're mounting this huge bill upon your family that eventually has to get taken care of. That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, I have nurses and firefighters and other first responders that say that, like, for the first 3 months, it wasn't as crazy, but June and July have been bananas, and it's just and when I was referring to those messages that I get at work, they say they don't go off deaths, and everybody's saying, well, what the media is telling you is the deaths are going down, and our own Defense Department is saying we don't look at deaths right now. We're looking at the available beds. Like that's more important to us than anything else. And so I mean, that could shut those people down. They're like, well, what they're not telling you that this is a hoax and the deaths are actually decreasing. There's much more important issues, than just deaths. It is those beds that are needed for other incidents and whatnot.
What I don't understand is the logic of the people that don't believe it's true or it is a hoax.
They're extreme extroverts. If it's not politics, they're just extroverts that cannot be inside. They can't be away from social life. They can't be away from being outside, and that's just their nature, right? So when you're telling those people who just have to be social butterflies like every day, and they have to be out and in people's faces, like they won't accept it, and so they're making up their own logic. I mean, that's what I see, at least.
Hey, man, us as human beings, we are not perfect people. That's for fucking damn sure. I mean, I'm broken as hell, and I don't know how many pieces.
Speak for yourself, bro. Speak for yourself, bro.
But shit, man. But just the logic or the lack of logic in that, I'm like, holy crap, man. I thought I was fucked up, But yeah, gentlemen, listen, I know the last podcast we were talking about stocks. And per that conversation, and more so because I got a phone call from my brother, and he was like, hey, you should look into this. And that was probably the third conversation that I had about, going into investing. And sure enough, I took the plunge with, some of you guys' advice. Obviously, I know I reached out to you guys. Hey, what do you currently have in your portfolio? How are you guys doing right now with your stocks?
Killing it. I did. Well, I show you screenshots like every day, pretty much. And so I'm up $1,800 in 2 weeks. Nice. And I kind of have I had a system going. I know last time we talked, I was like, GE. And then I was like, okay, that was stupid.
Yeah, I remember.
So, yeah, and GE's still sitting at the same amount right now. But
that's good long term. That's good long term.
Right. So screw long term. So what I've been doing is I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and then I have a handful of nerds that I follow on YouTube that like do all the insider, just dorking out, like whatever. And they want to share it with the world. Mm-hmm. Bless their hearts. So I get on at 6 and I'm like sitting there listening to these fools. Like I'll probably do like 3 or 4 back to back, like videos that were just released either that morning on the East Coast or late in the evening the day before. And so then I jump on as soon as the market's about to open and I buy into what these guys are talking about. And then I sit and see where they're at midday. If it's good, I let them ride. If it's kind of bogus looking, then I get rid of it. And then I dump the rest into the ones that are doing good. And I have my income for the day. I'll do the same. I'll do the same thing the next day.
Technically, you're day trading.
I am day trading, but the only thing with Robinhood is they'll flag you after. I think you get like eight day trades a day. So if you go too crazy, they'll say, "Okay, you have 2 more trades today, or you're going to be flagged a day trader." And when you're flagged a day trader, you get capped, and they do a little bit more with your taxes and whatnot. But
no,
so you just have to. You have to. I mean, at least they tell you. I mean, I'm cool with that. So I'm just like, all right, cool. I'll chill out today, and then hopefully I don't get butt fucked.
I wish I had the time to do that, man. You know what I mean? Like, but I remember you. Yeah. I think sometime last week you sent me a screenshot, and you were like, "Hey, I hope you got in on this," and I was like, "Bro, I got no time."
I know. And I did the same thing with my dad, and he's like, "What am I supposed to do? Sit in front of my computer all day?" I was like, "Well, I guess."
Yeah, you're supposed to, actually.
I was like, "Well, forget it then. I'll just send you screenshots about how much I'm making." But we got in. Like I got in on that Nikola when Nikola was. It was probably I got in that Monday, and I got in at $27 a share. And I bought a shit ton. I called my stepdad. I called everybody, and I said, "Hey, man, you guys got to buy into this." And they did, man. My stepdad made thousands off of Nikola. And by the third day, I think from when I was texting all those guys, it went up to $93 a share.
Wow.
And that was in a
one
matter
day?
In 3 days.
Oh, 3
It went
days.
up to, yeah. So 3 days, it went from $27 to $93.
What the fuck?
And everybody cashed out. And then so it started to come down from 93, and I put a stop loss on it at $77. So
Hey,
once it hits $77, it automatically sold everything. I didn't have to be looking at my phone or anything. So then I get this alert on my phone that says, "Hey, you just sold all your Nikola stock." And I'm like, "Oh snap, that means it's going down." So then I texted everybody that I hit up and I said, "Hey, sell. And they're like, "Why?" They're like, "No, they're like, investing is long term." And I was like, "Oh, okay, then I'm just gonna."
So now
it's at $53, and they lost half of what they gained. And
but they're looking
That's
at
still
it.
a huge gain.
Yeah, but they're looking at it a different way, more so like I am. You know what I mean? Like I don't have the ample time to do what you're doing. So I purchase, and if I feel a stock that I purchased was a mistake or is not a strong stock, I just sell it, and then I just reinvest it into something else, and I just try to say, right, man, we're going to sit here for the long haul. I am, on the other hand, going to try to do what you're currently doing, just not as often. Because I just don't have the time. But I think, for you to be able to have that time, capture a rush, while it's going up and then jump off as it's coming down. Obviously it's a strategic thing to do. It's standard play. My question to you is, how many points below your purchasing cost are you willing to take the hit before you say, okay, I got to sell this stock?
Right. So this isn't my retirement I'm playing with. So this is just money that I take to the casino. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm either going to lose it or, it just has to be money I'm comfortable with losing.
But
So do you have long-term stock investments, and then you have like side that you play with, and do you have some in between?
I'm strictly playing with that money on Robinhood. It's no long-term. It's just
all play
short.
money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the rest is, I have stuff in retirement stuff, but I let other people do the allocation for that. You know what I mean?
Now,
Right. Okay.
Like-
do you do any penny stocks?
Right now I have 4. I'll even send you a screenshot. So right now I have 4. And, well, what do you consider anything under $10 a penny stock or no? It kind of seems like
So I don't know exactly like what constitutes a penny stock, but I know like Robinhood, they don't have any penny stocks because
I just bought.
penny stocks are usually like 20 cents a share or something like that. Usually like startups and stuff like that.
Yeah, Friday I bought 2,000 shares of ZOM, which is 16 cents a share. That was about as low as I've gone. And then I sold with,
and that's on Robinhood.
Yeah,
man.
ZOM.
I forgot the name of the company, but I had 86 shares, and when I sold it, it totaled out to like $8. I mean, it was to me that I consider that a penny stock.
Yeah,
it's just it's so minute. The shares compared to what you would get back. But Sherman, real quick, man. So really, what I'm asking you is regarding your strategy. Is you purchase a stock at a current price. Now, I understand this is play money for you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But in your brain, how many levels of it going down are you willing to accept as far as the risk before you decide to sell? $1, $2? I mean, what are you looking at?
Oh, I see what you're saying. It depends on how much. I don't like losing. So I'm watching.
I don't think anybody does.
I'm watching.
I like losing
carefully.
weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what's funny, and I'll still talk about what you're saying, but with Robinhood, and I think this kind of manipulates the market just a little bit, but it'll say like if you're on a hot stock, it will send you an alert saying, "Hey, your stock's up 20% today." And that makes me cringe because as soon as that alert hits my phone, that shit starts to tank. And that's
because everybody sells immediately, huh?
Everybody's seeing that same alert and they're like, oh snap, I'll take my shit and run. And so you got to watch that stuff too. So as soon as I get that alert, I sit and watch it live. Like, okay, what to do. And if I see it go down like 20 cents, I'm just like, yeah, I'm out because it's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep going down. But, if when you do go on Robinhood, I know you have Robinhood, but if you go to sell, like you pick a stock, you hit trade, then you hit sell, and up at the top there's this thing called limit order and stop order. So at stop order, that's kind of a stop loss. So basically, you set where you want to dump it all, and at limit order, you can set a stock that you don't have to where if it gets to a certain price, you buy it. So like you can really control quite a bit to where you don't really have to be glued to the screen.
It's automated mechanics is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that. I like that. Ken, how you looking on your stocks, my brother?
So stocks, mine have been okay. So I think I told you I invested in a lot of airlines. Yeah. So those have actually still been going down.
I noticed that. I sold one of them.
Some of my shares, I bought at the wrong time because they're going to go back up. That was more of a long-term investment. I'm talking like a couple of years down the road when travel starts coming back because the sales for airlines is so low right now.
Yeah.
The shares are going so low. But what happened was the government got involved and that whole stimulus thing for corporations, a lot of that money, I think it was a couple $2 billion that went into airlines. So that actually helped to prop up their shares still. Right. So as they were dropping, I bought pretty low. But when they got that package, that money, I forgot what it's called, like the buyback. They do like a buyback on their shares to keep their shares at a certain, maintain a certain number.
Right.
And I think that kind of fucked some investors because it's like, well, we want to invest, but we want to invest at your low point. But now it's not going any lower. So my investment on that isn't going to be as much as I thought. So I kind of got fucked by the government on that one, I would say. But it's I'm still going to come out on top of it.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I purchased 2 airline stocks. I sold one of them just because I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and let me liquidate some of the things that I feel were mistake purchases, even though I didn't feel the airline was, but I needed to allocate those funds because I started doing research and I was like, you know what? Let me start messing with index funds. So I bought Triple Q, and it's been going pretty good with that, man. I didn't buy a lot of shares, but just with the shares that I did get, I mean, and it's not a cheap investment, but it's never been in the red, and it's always going up. You know, so I think
that's
I'm
a good call.
Yeah. Index funds are pretty safe.
So I'm thinking long term, I'm probably going to invest more in index funds and just retain them, hold on to them for the long haul. And I know myself and well, at one time, all of us worked for the federal government. But I remember having a conversation with with Sherman, my buddy here, and I start asking him, "Hey, man, what fund are you putting your TSP, your Thrift Savings Plan, into?" And he starts telling me, "Hey, man, I remember him having a conversation with myself maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, who knows? And he was telling me how he would allocate different funds.
Well, I pay for it. You know that. I mean, it's not me. I pay for a TSP consultant that tells me every week where to put my shit.
Bro, how much are you paying him?
It's like $7 a month.
That's all? Holy shit. Okay, brother. Well, every time you send me that info, I'll just buy you 3-4 beers and we're even.
Yeah, man.
That's fucking cheap, right?
Yeah. In fact, he came out with another one yesterday. I'll send it to you right now.
Right. So, gentlemen, what I'm saying was that because of my lack of knowledge, I long term I invested into the G fund, which is the safest way to go. But it really doesn't. It maybe gives you 1% return. I got to play catch up, and I got to stop fucking around and concentrate and start making real precise, effective decisions like yesterday.
And that TSP is going to be your that's going to be your retirement.
Start getting cheaper hookers instead.
We live next to TJ. There's no excuse. No excuse.
Hey, but the thing about it, gentlemen, is look, we all know that TSP is just an added accoutrement onto what Social Security is and what our retirement. I know we're FERS. I mean, so it's just another tool to help you out with
but
retirement.
Carlos, TSP trumps all that. I mean, you are right to focus on TSP.
Absolutely,
because FERS ain't shit, and Social Security ain't shit.
And the thing about it, we by the time we retire, we might not even have the funds for Social Security. You know what I mean? That's what they say. Whether or not that's going to happen or not, who knows? But at the end of the day, you really, I mean, you gotta be a squirrel and save up your nuts, man. Because that day's coming. And you either hit the lotto and you fucking square, you take care of your peoples, you know what I mean? You bless them, but who the fuck is gonna win the lotto, man? You better start collecting nuts, man. And as a 44-year-old man, sometimes I think about shit like, fuck, dude. You got to really start thinking about
if you started earlier, huh?
Yeah. For example, like, I remember my mom used to tell me, hey, take $50, $60 out of your paycheck, put it away. Don't touch it. Leave it alone.
Yep.
Come on, man. I need money for my 40s.
Your mom's a smart lady, man.
I need money for my 40s. I got to go to the club. I got to buy, new Timberlands. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
I feel that. I don't blame you. You know what I mean?
Every time I get a pay raise, a yearly bump, extra money coming in, I grab that extra money and I put it either towards the TSP, to have it generate more funds for me. Because I figure, I've been living off what I've been living for the last, how many years, right? Regarding of inflation and all that, I understand that, right? But it's money I've been dealing and working with for the past how many years. I don't need any fucking raise. I'm good now, right? So let me grab it and allocate this money and to make the fucking snowball get even bigger. Brother, sometimes I'll stay, and I'm a worry freak, but I think it's good to worry. I really think it's good to worry to the point of making sure that you and your family will be secure when you grow old and the day for retirement comes and you have prepared enough for this day. I think that's a good thing to worry about. If you don't worry about it, and if you don't give a fuck, what's the statement? Ignorance is bliss. But guess what, man? You retire and you're asked the fuck out. You're eating ramen noodles and cutting up coupons at the fucking store because you can't afford to get a fucking steak.
Are you trying to talk me out of buying that RV, Carlos?
I saw that, man, and I was like, yo, that's pricey. I mean, that's like, you got money to be doing that shit.
No, not really. Actually, I'm starting to, now my hopes of getting it are going down listening to you, but
listen, and the thing about it is I don't want to take or deflate your dreams, my dude. I'm just speaking what I consider my own life. And the thing about it, feel me on this, but I'm a worry freak. I'm losing my erection. I'm a worry freak, anyways. You know what I mean? I'm always like, double guessing the motherfucking situation, and you know what I mean. So don't fucking take my word for fucking gospel for sure. But Kenny, man, go ahead, speak on it, dude. I'm over here taking up the mic, chattering it up, man.
Oh no, man! I love hearing that. It's like you're an adult and shit. It's pretty weird. But I was gonna say on the RV thing though, I would really suggest renting one for like a trip or something like that. See how you like it, and you'll probably, that trip will help you decide whether or not you actually want to have one. Because if you have one, you're probably going to finance it, or if you buy it outright, then you got to pay a place monthly to store it, and
that's it.
Then you end up using it maybe once a year or
It's a very, very, very valid point. You know, I was thinking more like Carlos, but then I saw this video on YouTube of these like spaceships flying over the moon, and then I was like, "Oh fuck it, dude! I'm gonna go live a little bit before these motherfuckers drop big old bird shits on us and take us
check this out. Hey, that's a legitimate thought, though. That is, because as much as I say, yo, save your fucking nuts, right? You know, save your fucking money. You can't live a life so rigid because then you're not enjoying it. So I totally agree, dude. Like I was bummed out. My wife and I, man, we last month we had plans to go to Hawaii. Look, guys, I'm not a rich person, but I stack my money. I'm a good saver. It takes a little bit of money to go where the fuck we go. We stay at the Rainbow Tower at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. So you need a little bit of cheese. You know what I mean? Woo. And nonetheless, man, we had this planned out, looking forward to it. When one of the times that I was there, I'm going to give you a little bit a snapshot of my mental craziness. I'm floating in the ocean, look like a fucking porpoise, looking up at the sky, and I take a mental snapshot. Well, I don't know, because I'm a fat ass. I don't know what I'm going to tell you. So
manatee. Porpoises are little.
There you go. All right, cool. Manatees are bigger, right? Okay, cool. So that became a discussion of what aqua fucking water animal.
Manatee has no neck and shit.
So, hey man. So look, I'm looking up at the sky, and I take a visual snapshot memory, and I say to myself, "Yo, dude, when you're back in continental United States and you're at work and you're in a stressful situation, remember this photograph, this moment of tranquility and peace. You're in paradise. Let this be your fucking mental screenshot whenever you fucking get anxiety and shit starts fucking hitting the fan." But nonetheless, man, we going back to what you were saying, Sherm, yo, you need those moments of fuck it. You know what I mean? Just like,
yes,
you have to. Yo, maybe you might be a little bit buzzed. The feeling's right. Your wife's like, yo, we should do this. Yeah, all right, fuck it. We do need a break. Yeah. We do need
but you know
some
what?
Happiness.
The fuck it thing is like the only trouble with that, like it can how do you say it? It can be kind of addicting where you're just like, fuck it.
Well, see,
then,
that's
like, 3
why
days in a row.
You're right, but you have to be you have to be disciplined. You understand what I'm saying? Because then fuck it turns to empty buckets. You see, I'm a rhymer. You like that, right?
Oh, that was tight.
Right? You feel me, right?
That was tight. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Am I talking to Eminem right now? What the fuck's going on?
Not really, man. Not really. But
hey, so let me say this real quick. So the trouble behind this is like I really think people should live a little bit more, not just exist. Because I remember being in the Marine Corps, and there was always that Marine that would always stay back. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go to a bar. We'll spend like between $20 and $50, depending on how the night goes." Mm-hmm. And there would always be a Marine that stays back. No, I'm not gonna do anything because he's always saving money and shit.
Right.
But then it's like he has like no stories to tell and stuff.
Man.
We come back, we're like, "Hey, we did blow off of the stripper's ass and stuff." And he's like, I sat in the barracks.
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth, dude. He's got no memories, man. He's not living.
Yeah, exactly. So of course you don't want it to get out of hand. I totally agree, 100%. There's a comedian named Doug Stanhope, my favorite comedian, and I would say no, he's probably number 2. Dave Chappelle is the number 1. But he said you want to do excess, but in moderation. So he's saying instead of every paycheck going to get your a $20 blowjob or something like that, save a little bit and go get yourself that hot ass hooker. You know what I mean? So
right.
get the $200 hooker, but every other month.
Hey, no, right? Feel me, man. Check this out. Look, I understand what you're stating. Not that
So excess in moderation.
Right. So check this out, right? So my wife and I used to love to do, prior to this COVID thing going on, we would go out to dinner 2 times a month. Now, whether or not that also allocated going to the movies, whatever have you, but it was our little gift to each other as a date night. Hey, man, let's go get a good steak. And it would happen 2 times a month. Anything over than that, I found myself, we're not being as frugal as we should be. Going out to dinner 2 times a month, to me, is good enough for us to go ahead and break the monotony. Hey, let's do a date night. Maybe we come back home, watch Netflix, chill. But that was in moderation in my mind. Anything above that, now all of a sudden I start seeing my finances being, I got to transfer funds. You feel me? And I said to myself, yo, dude, that's good enough. Guess what? You got a vacation coming up, and we're the type of family where we'd always go on 2 vacations a year. It'd be a big one and then a smaller one where we either go to Texas to visit my brother or Las Vegas, or maybe something, go to Mexico, something small, nothing as big or expensive as Hawaii. But with this COVID, man, we're going on well over a year. I think the last vacation we took was last January with my brother and his family on a cruise to the Caribbean. And brother, with the situation that's happening with COVID, people working from home, you're missing the contact of human beings, but it's imperative that you got to stay away from this. That's more important than having verbal communication. But at the end of the day, it's also important for a human being to have human contacts and conversations with other individuals. We're not built to be by ourselves. And at this moment of stress, at least for me, in my personal opinion, like this vacation is way past due, man. Like my relay switch to pressure relief valve, you hear that on brakes, is about to pop. You feel what I'm saying? Like I need a motherfucking vacation like now. And where the fuck are we going to go? Where am I going to go? I can't take more so because my wife has asthma. So if not for me, for her, I really have to make sure that I protect her.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. So, like, we're banging on the dinner table, vacation, and the fucking doors are locked. We can't go nowhere. So it's like, what are we turning to, man? How do we relieve in this pressure of, needing something to take us away from the day-to-day fucking anxiety of the rat race and jobs and all that. We all need a break, man. And
right.
I know
it's true. That makes me think about the people that are kind of losing their shit right now. People like I guess it's like getting cabin fever.
Very much so.
Like that,
very much so.
People are just itching to get the fuck outside, and then they lose track of all safety protocols, and then they do the fuck it thing, and then they just go.
Yeah, see,
that's what's happening.
That's where the lack of discipline comes in, man. Like I'll give you a prime example, man. Like I'll come into work, walk into my music studio, which is now my fucking work office, and 6:00 I'm on. I get off at 2:30. I'm in my tank tops and my fucking basketball shorts. I hop in the shower after I get off of work. I go downstairs, I feed the dogs, and guess what, man? That's my fucking day, to be repeated again the next fucking day and the day after that until Friday hits. And you see what I'm saying? So my little adventures for the week is going to Walmart or Albertsons, going food shopping, picking up beer. You feel me? Like that's, oh shit, what adventures is going to happen as I go to Walmart? You know what I mean? Like a day-to-day activity. Like sometimes, the wife wants you to pick some shit up. How come you ain't pick it up? How come you ain't remember it? Sometimes it's like a chore to go back. Now I'm looking forward to it. Oh man, I haven't started the car in 5 days. I got to let the engine warm up for real, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Like, you know
you got to wet the seal, man.
But guys, before we let this we end this podcast, man, is anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it a day?
The only thing that sucks, I would say the main thing that sucks right now is like this pandemic is like everything that people talk about now. It's like all we can really talk about.
Right.
And I think it's becoming a little taxing, and it sucks. But I think collectively as a nation, if we actually put in the work, it shouldn't last as long. Because I think what Sherm was saying was March. So he's saying that the firefighters and nurses that he knew, the numbers they weren't even getting that many calls in like March, April, and May. And now June and July, we're getting crazy calls because everybody's jumped outside and said, fuck it, it's over. But I think if we just give it a little bit more time, encourage each other to just be safe. I mean, if you're going to do something, if you're going to go out or something, encourage people to be safe. Like I wear my mask when I'm outside and stuff. And then I had a friend that was with me and he took his mask off and he was like, "Why do you make me feel like an asshole for taking my mask off?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it's a free country."
Yeah.
But but then he ended up putting his mask back on. So
yeah, you know, it's funny.
Like
it's almost like he's being internally he's shaming himself, right? Because it's normal for everyone to wear a mask. But remember back in the 80s, you see Michael Jackson wear a mask, and you're like, "What the fuck is wrong with this freak?" I remember going to Japan when I was in the Marine Corps, and there would be sick people in the subway, and they wear a mask, and I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with this idiot?" You know what I mean? But really, it was my ignorance.
It's like they care about their fellow
right.
man,
That's what I was trying to tell you. It was my ignorance, and really, that person should have been granted respect and for their intelligence, and having the the logic to think about, hey, I don't want to get someone else sick. I have a cold. We fucking think like idiots sometimes. And now this has become the norm. And the person in the store who's not wearing the mask, now you're looking at them like a fucking monster. Like, hey, what the fuck? Wear your shit. You know what I mean? But I feel so bad for the businesses, man. Specifically, not the big chains, because they'll have fucking money, deep pockets to hopefully sustain the storm. I'm talking about, there's a place in Sherm. I don't know if I ever took you there. I know I took burgers there several times. And Kenny, I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's a place off of California Oaks called RJ's Sizzling Steakhouse in Marietta.
Yeah, we've been there once.
Right. And I love that place, man. I would go there a lot, and we'd go out and get a good steak, dinner or lunch. And I looked it up online, and it was permanently closed. And I was like, fuck. I was like, shit, man. And it was a really nice place. And it's no longer, open. And I'm like, fuck, man. These businesses are crushed. Yeah.
Devil Dogs in Temecula's gone. That pizza place where I did all my trophies after baseball seasons in Carlsbad is gone. Like, everything is just kind of everything.
You know what that brings up the point of the whole the stimulus packages that was given out by the government.
Right.
And if the money is somewhat traceable, and you can see where some of this money goes, and almost none of it went to mom and pop shops. Almost all of it went to corporations.
That's sad, man.
And
Kanye got over $1 million.
What's that?
Kanye got over $1 million in relief. They just said it. I mean, because now that he's running for president, he's a little bit more transparent.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that dude secured over $1 million for relief.
That literally, when you just said that right now, that gave me anal leakage right now.
Yeah, man. I always have anal leakage.
But it's so the thing that sucks is like that money that should have went to businesses like that Sizzling Steakhouse. That should have went to the mom and pop shop.
Yeah, I agree.
These big companies that actually got money still laid off staff. So it's like, what the fuck was the point? The whole point was to keep the staff, right? But
I agree.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I think I'm missing some information or something.
Well, listen, man, before I forget, as we're talking about restaurant establishments, I'm going to give a couple of shout outs now that we're on this topic to a couple of my favorite local joints. There's a place over by Pachinga Casino, and the place is called Papa's Pizza Grotto. Delicious pizza, y'all. If you guys haven't had the chance, hit it up. It's over there by the Pachinga gas station. Further down the road, off of the 79, there's a place called Temecula Pizza Factory. Outstanding pizza. Which one is better? Yeah. I really couldn't tell you, man. But
Pizza Factory
right off the 79 by the 7-Eleven.
Hell yeah!
Listen, it when I first saw the marquee, I was like, yo, this is very plain, bland looking fucking marquee. I walked in there and the pizza was fucking off the chain.
White Tiger shrimp, that's my shit.
I haven't. Thank you. I will try that. I haven't tried that. There's another place down the road on the 79 called the Coconut Hut, DA Coconut Hut. And this is right by CC's haircut place. And then what they do is they sell Hawaiian food. So you can get your local moco, your Hawaiian platter, the barbecue platter with the macaroni salad. Delicious. I would advise anyone who's listening to the podcast and lives up here in the Riverside, San Diego area to go check these places out. There's one adjacent to the Coconut Hut called the Cactus. And it's a Mexican restaurant. And Sherm, I've taken you there before.
Baja Cactus, right?
What was that?
Cactus.
Baja Cactus. Yes.
Yeah,
have you guys been there before?
Yeah, we just went actually a couple weeks ago.
Hey guys, and then you know what, Sherm, and as well as Kenny, man. Listen, when they open up, it'd be my pleasure to take you guys out for a couple of brews and a lunch. On me, specifically the Cactus, man. I love the food there. But that way we could just, you know what I mean? Just to me showing you gratitude, man. I love you guys and what you guys have brought to the podcast. And I just want to go ahead and bear fruits and share moments and beers with you guys when that time, is safely, back upon us. But I did want to give a shout out to these.
I'm gonna take you up on that. So I'm gonna take you up on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, nigga, I ain't talking because I got lipstick.
Hey, can I bring up one more thing real quick?
Sure.
And I'm just curious what you guys think, but I did hear how Kenny said this is like all we're all talking about now. And that is a big fear of mine as far as we live on a big planet and atrocities are happening all the time. And we tend to, get glued to one thing. And then our journalism and everything else, tends to avoid real, not saying this isn't real, but other issues that are putting people in some crazy shit, across the globe. So that's just one thing where I fear, when this is all said and done, we're going to learn about some crazy shit that, certain parts of the globe have been going through, that we are just completely blind to because our journalism doesn't even focus on that because that's not what the world wants to see or hear right now. They're focused on COVID. So that's a fear of mine.
Well, the thing about it, man, is we're already experiencing the change. What we were talking about, Kenny and I were talking about masks and how people used to wear them in different countries like Japan.
Right.
And you would look at them and you would ostracize them what the fuck is wrong with this fool? Now this is becoming the normal here. So it's already happening. I think we're in for a long-term change. And we just have to adjust to it. The mask thing will probably last for the next 2, 3, or 4 years until they develop some kind of antidote for this virus. We just have to find little nooks and crannies to help us still live a enjoyable life without becoming and losing our wits. Have to enjoy our lives. We just have to find ways to do it in other, different avenues and which leads to new opportunities for new businesses and inventions to spawn.
We just have to do it in a way where we're not furthering the divide, because this is also causing a bigger, polar spread in politics with people's views of, is this a hoax? Is this something we need to take serious? And so families are getting split up. Communities are getting more separated just based off their political views. And that's something I hate to see as well.
Yeah, dude, you sent me photos. I just got a bunch of photos from you. The problem is, as you're doing that, it affects the connectivity. So don't do that. So even if I get a phone call, I'm like, shit, somebody please don't call. It'll drop the fucking WhatsApp call.
I got you. Right. The Bonhomer Shard's on fire. I was just sending you a picture of that. That's my ship, and it's on fire right now in San Diego. Go ahead.
Your what?
My ship, the USS Bonhomer Shard. I just got a text message from somebody.
Fuck out of here.
And they sent me big pictures saying Bonhomer Shard is blazing right now in the harbor in San Diego. And I sent you that picture.
Wow. Did they say what caused the fire?
Nope. It just says more details to come. It says multiple injuries reported as a result of a military ship fire and explosion, which took place Sunday on USS Bonhomer Shard at Naval Base San Diego.
Damn. Well, shit, man. We'll be praying for them and their families, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a pleasure, like always. Once this COVID thing dies down, I will take you guys out for some beers and some lunch, some good Mexican food. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Chapter 73 with my homeboy, Kenny Ken. My homeboy, which, Big Sherm, man. When you guys see the artwork that's done for this podcast, that's him. That's the dude that, once I carry the ball and I, go ahead and do the touchdown, do the editing, he grabs it and he polishes up the trophy, makes it presentable, puts all the artwork together. I appreciate him greatly. I also appreciate Kenny Ken's, my dude, a small individual, a cool cat. I had the pleasure to DJ his wedding many moons ago.
Oh, snap.
You know what I mean? And much love to both of you guys. I really,
almost
truly.
10 years now.
My dude. Hey,
congratulations.
Shit.
Congratulations.
In 2 weeks, man, my wife and I hit 15 years.
Hell yeah. Nice. I just hit 12 2 weeks ago.
My dude, congratulations. Look at that. I wanted to take her to Ruth Chris Steakhouse for her anniversary, but that'll be open. So I'll probably
for sure.
get some carne asada or some shit. I don't know. But nonetheless, guys, it's been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, please be safe. Protect your families. Take care of each other. Love each other. We will be back soon. This has been Chapter 73 with my homeboy Kenny Ken and Big Sherm. We love you guys. Please be safe. We out.
All right, man.
DJ Arc.